The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too.
President Donald Trump's plan for the US to take over Gaza after permanently resettling Palestinians has sparked international condemnation.
I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad. This could be so magnificent.
His proposal has shattered Washington's decades-long policy of a two-state solution, which would create an independent state for Palestinians in the West Bank and Gaza, alongside Israel's existing one. Regional heavyweight Saudi Arabia, which Trump hopes will establish ties with Israel, rejected the plan outright, along with the leaders of Jordan and Egypt. France said the forced displacement of Gazans would be a serious violation of international law and would further destabilise the region, while countries including Russia, China, the UK and Germany said they continue to support the two-state solution. Nabil Abu Rudaina is a spokesperson of Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas.
The President and the Palestinian people had already rejected fully and completely these demands. This land is a Palestinian land. It's the international law. It's the Arab Peace Initiative. We refuse any kind of transfer for the Palestinian people, and we appreciate the position of the Saudi Arabia and Egypt and Jordan concerning this issue.
West Bank residents also condemned the pledge. One asked where Trump imagines he'll relocate the Palestinians to. Another told Reuters that Trump wants to, quote, control the world, but doesn't understand what he's talking about. An official from Palestinian militant group Hamas, which ruled the Gaza Strip before the war with Israel, dismissed the plan as, quote, ridiculous and absurd.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
In his first major Middle East policy announcement, President Trump, a former New York property developer, said he envisioned building a resort in the enclave. Here, he said, international communities could live in harmony. That's after over 15 months of Israeli bombardment devastated the coastal enclave of Gaza and killed more than 47,000 people by Palestinian tallies. It's not clear whether Trump will go ahead with his controversial plan or is simply taking an extreme position as a bargaining strategy. He did not provide specific details as he announced this proposal.
China filed a World Trade Organization complaint against U.S. President Donald Trump's new 10% tariff on Chinese imports. In the Wednesday filing, China argues that the tariff, as well as Trump's cancellation of a duty-free exemption for low-value packages, are protectionist and break WTO rules. It says the duties are discriminatory and, quote, are imposed on the basis of unfounded and false allegations concerning China. Beijing's complaint also comes after Trump's move to shut a trade loophole that allowed small-value packages to be shipped duty-free. The so-called de minimis provision, used widely by e-commerce giants like Shein and Temu, exempted packages with goods worth less than $800 from duties. Around 1.36 billion shipments entered the United States using the de minimis provision in 2024. The Trump administration has blamed the de minimis exemption for allowing fentanyl and its precursor chemicals to enter the U.S. unscreened. Recent Reuters reporting has also found that drug traffickers are exploiting the exemption. Beijing's Wednesday WTO filing could lead to a ruling that Trump's duties violated trade rules, in the same manner that a 2020 ruling found that his first-term China tariffs broke trade regulations. However, such a victory would be unlikely to satisfy Beijing because the WTO's appeals body has been largely inoperable for years. That's because of Washington's blocking of appointments of appellate judges over what it views as judicial overreach by the body, which has prohibited a final decision in the 2020 case.
Ahmed al-Sheikh is among tens of thousands of Syrians who return from neighboring Turkey to their hometowns full of hope after President Bashar al-Assad was toppled in December. But his excitement has turned to disappointment at the grim conditions in Syria after some 13 years of war.
I was shocked by the catastrophic situation, which was beyond my expectations. I'd never imagined this.
After fleeing Assad's forces in Aleppo 8 years ago, Sheikh built a stable life for his wife and 4 children in Turkey. But like some 35,000 others, Sheikh gave up his right to return to Turkey as he volunteered to go home to Syria in the first 3 weeks after Assad's fall. Now back in the war-torn Syrian city, the 35-year-old says the family faces frequent water and power cuts with almost non-existent internet connection.
My advice to my friends is to think carefully before returning to the country. The country needs complete rehabilitation, and nothing is as it was when you left.
To tackle the difficult situation, Turkey rolled out a scheme at the end of last year to help Syrians better plan their return home. It allows the heads of Syrian migrant families to visit Syria 3 times in the first half of this year, according to an Interior Ministry document. For Sheikh, he's missed out on this option. He had saved up some money in Turkey with plans to repair his Syria home that had been bombed. But that's been put on hold now as he tries to start a business doing mobile phone repairs. I don't know if the project will succeed here in the country, he says. If it fails, I will have lost everything I earned during my time in Turkey.
Ford is braced for deepening losses on electric vehicles. The auto giant said Wednesday it expected a deficit of up to $5.5 billion on EVs and software operations in 2025. That's similar to last year, and analysts say it's a sign that the firm is struggling to cut costs on battery-powered models. Ford shares dropped nearly 5% in after-hours trading following the update. The overall picture looked brighter, though. Fourth quarter revenue of over $48 billion easily beat estimates, as did earnings per share. Now Chief Executive Jim Farley is hoping to follow a choppy 2024 with a steadier year. But uncertainty over what Donald Trump might do on tariffs isn't helping. If he goes through with new levies on Canada and Mexico, that would drive up raw material costs for Ford, and probably weigh on sales too. The firm is the first major US automaker to report earnings since Trump announced the duties. Speaking to analysts, Farley said Ford could weather a few weeks of tariffs. But he said a prolonged trade war would wipe out billions of dollars in industry profits and be bad news for US jobs. However, he added that he believed Trump was trying to strengthen the US auto industry, not weaken it. As for EVs, Ford took dramatic action last year, axing one planned model and delaying another. It now doesn't plan to roll out any new electric cars over the coming year, relying instead on sales of hybrids. That's in contrast to arch-rival General Motors, which plans a blitz of new EV launches this year.